we're just going to call it the House of Hotrods Podcast.
Cool.
So I'm Joey Del Russo. I'm the Vice President of Operations for Angmar Retail Group. I oversee all of our retail stuff. House of Hotrods is one of our entities. This is Jordan Cole, a longtime friend and friend of the shop. And he has his own company called Trust in the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
And he does badass photography. You can see some of it here. Does videography stuff. You filmed a series for what channel?
So I filmed the Car Trek series on YouTube, and then also Car Issues on Motor Trend.
Yep. And then you shoot for Bring a Trailer for all the guys that are selling their stuff on there.
I do a ton for Bring a Trailer. Yeah.
And then you've done the Cannonball Run a few times.
Really?
Not Cannonball.
Cannonball?
It's a different rally organization, Dust Ball Rally.
Dust Ball.
Yeah, but I've been all over the country.
Does that go down
numerous times.
Does that go down to Terralingua? The Dust Ball.
Where does it start and end?
There's different ones every year, so it's basically they have a small rally that goes to Vegas every year from usually El Paso, different ways.
Okay, that's probably the same one.
Yeah, and then there's a bigger rally that'll do we've done New York to LA, we've done Dallas to New York City, Houston to Buffalo. We've been all over the country, Vegas to Vancouver.
Is that super badass cars, or is it just
Man,
It's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dust Ball's weird. I mean, you typically with the rallies, you do have higher end cars. You'll have your Porsches and your Ferraris and your Lambos. That's half the pack, and then there's the other half, which is a group of teachers in a Toyota Camry. It's the weirdest, most eclectic. There's been people bring school buses on it. There's been people bring a Peterbilt one time.
wow.
It's so eclectic.
So you have your car enthusiasts that do it, and then you have your people that just want to do it because it's an experience.
It's such a good time. The people, the roads. I mean, you're doing 2,000 to 2,500 miles, all on back roads, minimal interstate, staying in weird places, driving through places that there's really no reason to ever be back. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
And didn't you just take one of your sons on a trip? I saw you post about it.
That wasn't a rally. That was a gig I had down in Port Aransas.
So you were on the beach somewhere.
Yeah. I had some drone work to do down there, so he got to come with me and
It was a good time.
see me work. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
I saw your post about it. I was like, man, that's cool.
Yeah, that's one of the first times I was able to do that, because the job itself wasn't going to take that much time. I mean, 15 or 20 minutes, but an excuse to take a road trip with your kid. That's the first road trip I think that we've done. We've gone places in the car as a family, but just me and him showing him dude, we're on the road. There's no rules.
Yeah.
You want 6 bars of whatever in the gas station? You want 12 Snickers? Let's do it.
Heck yeah.
Let's see. Mom's not here. Let's have some fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do the same thing on our camping trips.
Yeah. You gotta.
I do a daddy-daughter trip with my brothers and their kids every year, and it's like, oh, you want candy? Sweet. Oh, you want beef jerky? You want this? You want that?
Yeah.
So they're all sugared up by the time we get where we're going.
Yeah.
Rules of the road. Yeah.
Well, got to teach them young, teach them right.
Yeah.
So tell us about your car that you've had forever and the different transitions you've gone through. I think the first time I saw it, you had the green and orange.
Yeah, maybe it's been a few different colors, and I don't know if the House of Hotrods crew is gonna approve of my most prized possession, but it's a 2008 Miata.
There's a lot of those going on.
Hold on, let's let the laughter end.
No.
Your true car enthusiasts know the guys that the Miata is it's like a cult. It's a following.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start this. There was a group of people that it all started with a Honda group. When I first started drive, I had an Acura and met up with these other guys that had Acuras, and we'd go, find good roads to drive on, and the Metroplex area, and then that moved to Oklahoma, and then that moved to Arkansas, where there's just a ton of good roads. And then, front-wheel drive Honda's not great for that type of stuff, so a lot of the guys moved to the S2000, and a couple Miatas popped up, and I wanted something around 2008, and that's the year the S2000 was going out, so the prices on those were kind of skyrocketing, whereas the Miata was kind of hanging tight. So I was like, well, I'm going to lease a Miata. I'm going to just lease it, get it out of my system for a couple years, and see what happens. And then like a month into owning it, I was like, I'm never ever getting rid of this car. Like, I just loved it so much.
So it was new then, huh?
Yeah, it was brand new. It was like white, like a marble white with kind of orange colored top. It looked good. It looked nice. It looked more expensive than it was for sure. But it's gone through so many changes. I mean, it's not even the same. Everything's been replaced.
Do you have any pictures?
Any pictures on the website here?
I don't know if there's any on the website.
You can go to your Instagram. I'm sure you have some on there, right?
Yeah, there's some on there. But it's been wrapped several times. The engine's been replaced. All the suspension's been replaced. The entire interior's been replaced. Everything, gauges. I mean, everything that you can touch on the car has been touched just to make it a little better. But it's overall just been a fantastic car. It's been all over the country. It's been on a track. It's been.
What do you like about it?
What do I like about the car the most? There's a picture of it with my son.
Let me log in. Get rid of the screen so I can log in. Nobody needs to see my login.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
What were you saying?
The reason I know there's a huge cult behind Miatas, like
Yeah.
especially on tracks. I know they're light.
Well, they're just easy. They're forgiving. They're cheap. The parts are cheap and plentiful. Maybe not as plentiful as like a Jeep Wrangler, but I mean, it's just it's an easy car to get into and kind of beat up and have a good time and learn how to drive really well. And they're kind of like a blank canvas when you start out. You can go a lot of different directions with it. I mean, there's guys that get them and do nothing to them. There's guys that get them and set them up for like autocross. There's guys that road course them.
Yeah, the road courses.
Yeah, and there's guys like me who just enjoy the car and kind of make it their own. And
you have a roll cage?
No, I actually don't have a roll cage. I put a hard top on it, and I've debated ripping out the soft top and stuff, but to put a roll cage in it, or a roll bar, and I just
pull that screen back up. This is current status.
I don't really track it, so I don't really feel the need for a roll bar. The chassis all been stiffened up and everything, so it's. It's Bentley.
Yeah, you look like you had a good time on that.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm gonna try to find.
There's several pictures in there.
I'm gonna try to find the picture the first time I saw it with that racing wrap you had on there. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be one on there or not. I could post something real quick so you could see it.
Yeah, post it on there.
Yeah. I'll see if I can post like a few different versions of it, because it's been several. I mean, there's the original white. Let's see. People watching the podcast and then watching us scroll on.
Yeah.
We can maybe cut this out.
Okay, cool. It's a pet peeve of mine.
I love the fact that you'll take home a $250,000 car to your house here in the local area, and your neighbors are probably like, what the hell is this
They
guy
totally think that I'm a drug dealer. Totally. There's
That's
like
sad too.
there's a few guys on my street who are like always eyeballing to see like what's in the garage. But I mean I've offered if there's car guys in the neighborhood and you see something in the garage, come by, let's go for a ride. Let's go.
What was that what was the Ferrari that we took out? I met you in Bridgeport when Robin and I were on our way to the off-road park.
That was a 458 Speciale.
That was a badass car.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That was fun. Smooth, fast, obviously, but just a sexy car. I mean, I think one of the things that stood out to me the most was the composite rotor.
Yeah, giant.
I mean, just giant,
enormous,
giant piece of like basically carbon fiber of some sort. And I'm like, that's the brake rotor.
So just pause for a second. This isn't live.
No.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll send you pictures.
Okay.
And then I'll send you pictures of any car we talk about.
Yeah.
Because I've got stuff.
Yeah, he'll put it in post.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, so it was a 458 Speciale, and that's kind of the spicy version of the 458. Pretty hardcore version, but they're phenomenal cars. They're meant to go 200 miles an hour all the time.
Oh yeah, it wants to go. It doesn't like low speeds. I remember that.
Yeah,
and it doesn't like being soft shifted. Like you gotta
Yeah. Typical with Ferrari transmissions. They're not the smoothest. So they like to be kind of ragged out a little. Not ragged out, but driven enthusiastically.
How did you get into that? How did people understand that you were into that?
Into the cars or into? What do you mean?
Both.
Well, I was telling Clinton the other day, you have a client, and I think it's the same guy that owns that car. That's like, you do his shoots, you give him a coffee table book of his car or whatever, and then he like calls you, was like, hey, just, I'm not home, go pick out a car.
Yeah, he likes his stuff driven. So I've got a few clients that are very trusting, and I've done a lot of work for him over the years, and become really good friends with all of them. But he likes to see his garage is like it's like a gallery of mine. Like you open his garage doors and it's just like, oh my gosh, there's all these memories and pictures that we've taken. But he's been very gracious as to letting me, use a car every now and then.
Is it a private garage at his house or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a personal collection. Apparently, he has a very, very nice collection of cars.
Yeah, very small, and he's got his every car is like, I'm never going to sell his car, but he always ends up. There's a few that have stuck around, but a few that he just won't get rid of.
Yeah.
I don't know which ones you've seen. Is the black one the only one you've seen?
That one. Then he had a Porsche, like an older Porsche, I thought.
The gray one?
Yeah.
That is the best car I've ever driven in my life.
What is it?
Yeah.
GT?
No, it's a 1990 911 964 that has been basically it's been backdated, which is popular, I guess, by Singer. There's a picture of his garage actually right there with that teal Porsche. Go up one. That's also a backdated Porsche, but it's not the same Porsche. Basically, the fenders and different body panels will fit Porsches kind of between the years.
Middle one?
No.
That's not it.
And it's been made popular by a company called Singer out of California that does a really good job backdating these Porsches, kind of put the 964 back on the map. But this gray car, it's just beautiful. The suspension's perfect. It's supple. It's the car that you can do anything with. And it's got 450 wheel horsepower and weighs, 1,800 pounds. Like it's a monster car.
Yeah, there's people that swear by Porsches, and there's people that don't.
Yeah, and honestly, when I started this journey, I guess you would say, doing the automotive photography,
This is the one I was talking about. Got your daily driver, pickup, and then you got some crazy Ferraris.
There's always something at the house.
That's like Magnum Pia. It looked like the truck had a little something in there also.
There's the Ferrari that we talked about.
Yeah.
Let me look at this thing.
Yeah, that's dope.
Look at that rotor.
Mm-hmm. That's a cool car. But anyway, I didn't. Porsche wasn't on the radar when I started doing this. I just wanted to shoot like the latest and greatest whatever supercar. And then, as I've put a lot of miles on a lot of cars, more so than the average person, I would say, they just stand out to me. They're just there's the gray one right there. Pretty under the radar. But it'll.
No, it's classic. It's classic style.
It'll blow fireballs as big as the car all day long out of the exhaust.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I had a shoot out in El Paso a couple of years ago, and I actually took that car. It needed to be driven, I guess, and went and picked it up, loaded it with camera gear, and drove to El Paso. And it was just like.
Man.
Beautiful, just perfect the whole way.
From here?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was a long drive.
Yeah, I say it was perfect. There was an issue. we had an issue with the car.
Oh no. what was
the car is kind of plagued. There's a couple of stories I can tell about this car. I was staying with a friend of mine, the gentleman that organizes Dust Ball Rally. We were out there shooting a thing for Dust Ball Rally. And his daughter wanted his mom. Let me slow down. Let me think about my words. Let me think about my words before they come out.
Yeah.
his wife wanted pictures of his daughter at this beautiful waterfall near Ruidoso, New Mexico. So I was like, well, I've never been to White Sands, so let's just take the Porsche out there. We can get the pictures, and then we can cruise by White Sands. I can get some more photos of the car out there. And we didn't end up making it to White Sands in time. It closed that evening, so we just headed back to El Paso. You know, parked the car in the driveway. We all got ready for dinner, and we were going to leave again. Well, I walked back outside, and I was like, where's all that oil coming from?
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
It's in the front of the car, so, like, it's not from this car. Because, like, my brain just wasn't, the engine's in the back.
Yeah.
And I walked around to the side of the Porsche, and there's oil all over the side of the car. And I'm just like, oh, no, that is this car. And turns out, like, that's a race car underneath. Like, the oil cooler lines were all bunched up under the bumper. Everything's carbon Kevlar. Like, it's a race car. There was a carbon Kevlar shard that had eaten away at one of the lines behind the bumper and just broke it off. So it was just shooting oil everywhere, which was fun in El Paso. It's not close to home.
Yeah.
You have to do a MacGyver on that.
I'm sure there's limited shops that have supplies and stuff out there as well.
There's one shop in El Paso, Porsche shop, that everybody knows this guy. His name's Lenny. I don't actually know the name of his shop. I wish I did.
Lenny's shop.
We'll call it Lenny's shop. But he's the Porsche guru of that side of the country. Everybody knows him. He races Porsches. He's an amazing human, amazing mechanic. He's just a great guy, and he happens to be in El Paso. So called him up, and he's like, yeah, sure, bring it over. And he was able to fix it and get it all dialed in and shoot me on my way back home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then kind of a story about the curse of that car. Currently the car, it lives in Carmel, and we were going to go, me and the owner, we were going to go to Rensport Reunion at Laguna Seca, which is like the big Porsche festival. And we were going to take that one and then a black car that he also had. And we get to the house. The cars haven't been driven in a couple months, so they're dead, naturally.
Story of my life. Dealt with that this morning.
Well, we don't have jumper cables, but we have a Tesla. So we call kind of the security people of the neighborhood where he lives, and they bring us some jumper cables, and we jump the black Porsche off the Tesla, which I don't know if you guys know anything about Teslas, but you're not supposed to jump anything off a Tesla.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I know that. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
So after we did that, we got the gray one started the same way, bricked the Tesla.
Really?
Completely bricked, parked behind the gray one. So we got the gray car running, the Tesla's now bricked. What do? Well, we'll just leave it sitting there and see if it resets itself. No, that didn't happen.
Probably not.
No. We got the car to roll, the Tesla to roll. So we rolled it out of the way, and then as we're pulling the gray car out, we stall it. So now the gray car's dead again. So we get a jump box. We're able to get the gray car started again. But now the transmission's kind of doing weird things. Or actually, no, we jump started it. We bump started it.
Oh, yeah.
So we pushed the gray car and bump started it to get it to go again. And the owner's like, okay, the transmission feels weird. I'm going to go drive it for a bit, see if I can work out the kinks. Drives it down the road. We forget to close the hood. The custom carbon Kevlar hood gone. He comes back down the driveway. There's just two carbon prongs sticking straight up. The hood's gone. Came back on the roof of the car. The roof's jacked up.
Mark did something real similar to Carbon Camaro.
Really?
Yeah, so, and you shot it, and we'll show pictures of it as we're talking about it, but, it originally had those old school, cotter pin looking pins. Well, we bought those really nice billet ones that have the little key that turns. Mm-hmm. So we're like, hey, we're going to put it on. So we pull it over behind the body shop. Randy's out there, who's our painter at the time, and he's got the old ones off, and he's fitting it. And he turns around, he walks back in the shop to, get the tools to adjust it. He comes back, the car's gone. And then 5 minutes later, I got a text from Mark. I blew the damn hood off this car. Come get me. I'm down the street. I'm like just pissed. And I'm like, how the hell did you do that? He goes, well, I just hopped in the car, was parked behind the body shop. So
Oh,
I go
that's
to Randy
awesome.
and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, he's like, I'm literally holding the wrenches. I was putting them on, and I went back in to get another tool, and I come back out and the car's gone.
Oh my gosh.
So Mark blew a, like $1,200 hood off the Camaro. I was like, "What do you want me to go get?" He's like, "No, just leave the damn thing on the side of the road. I don't want this hood."
Really? Y'all just left it there?
It was. No, I picked it up. but
Okay.
It was. It was
Shattered.
done.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, well, it looks kind of cool without a hood. And actually, I took that car out to Cars and Coffee. I think you were out there.
Yeah.
I drove it out there on those big ass wide wheels, that's how we learned it had a 6-speed in it. Everybody was telling, "Oh, it's a 5-speed." I'm like, no, I think it's a 6-speed. But yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, cars. I wouldn't say cursed, but they have a personality.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And it's like that is like end all be all out of all the cars I've driven. That's the one for me, that gray one. And just to see it get hurt, I just like
Yeah.
it hurts me a little bit.
So you started with photography and then you moved into videography, or how did that work?
Yeah, it's kind of a natural progression, I guess. I probably got into the video side of it a little late in the game, but it's again, back to the rally. I had been shooting stills for the rally for some time, for a couple years, and we just always had issues with video guys. So we did this New York to LA rally, which is, a 7-day brutal, like 700 miles a day type deal through back roads. Unbelievable, amazing. But then the video guy flaked out, so we had all this footage and we didn't know what to do with it, and all these people paid $5 or $6 grand to go on this rally, and there's no video
Yeah,
footage
they
of
want
it.
their DVD at the end.
Yeah, so
DVD.
It used to be DVD.
it's okay. It's okay.
Now they want their video.
You just aged yourself, brother.
I aged us, sir,
Yeah.
because you didn't correct me. You said,
Yeah, I forgot we're the same age. Yeah, so we battled back and forth with that for a while, and I was like, screw it, I'll just figure out how to edit this, and we'll get something going. And after that, I was just like, well, I already know how to edit, and I already have the camera stuff, so it just kind of grew from that.
What type of equipment are you using?
It honestly depends on the shoot. Like my gear, I guess for my own personal stuff, is just an assortment of Canon mirrorless stuff. But on a lot of the bigger shoots, we'll switch to Sony or whatever the production requires. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think you recommended a Sony camera for me for some video stuff, just because the image stabilization is
It's so
much
easy.
better.
Yeah, Sony's kind of leading the pack, I would say.
I started shooting pictures with it too, because my Canon is really, really old. So I was like, oh, I got this really nice Sony camera.
Yeah.
I really haven't done any video with it.
Yeah.
So I just started shooting stills with it. And
It's good.
It does pretty good.
Yeah.
It does pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like these days everything's pretty solid. I just think Sony's kind of the easiest one to step into and go.
Yeah.
You ever use the iPhone?
I used to be like just a hater of iPhone photography, and just I would never really post to like my personal Instagram, which is that Trust in the Jordan site. And then I was like, the best camera that anybody has is the one that's on them. So I've started to kind of embrace it and shoot little behind the scenes things that I'm working on. And
For social media stuff,
Yeah.
it's hard to beat.
you don't need a
Because-
$10,000 rig to shoot for little social media squares and
most
stuff.
of my reels and everything that have gone viral in my personal stuff have been shot from my phone.
Okay, so anything that I have that's gotten over 50,000 likes or whatever has all been with my phone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I'll get I'll use my couple $1,000s worth of cameras, take these really awesome pictures or short little videos, and it's like 20 views, 200 likes.
Yeah.
Or
3.
Flip out my 2-3-year-old iPhone, take a video, and it's like 50,000 people like it. It's and I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. But for the high end filming, your billboard stuff, anything that's going in print, obviously, use the professional gear. Makes
I'm
it
waiting for a movie to come out that was completely.
It'll happen.
Yeah, I know.
It'll
I
happen.
know.
It'll
It'd
happen.
be like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, that was hugely successful.
Probably look better than Blair Witch Project, honestly.
Probably.
I think that was pretty good for its time.
Yeah,
The
I agree.
Only reason why I'm doing this is for the shorts, the video shorts.
Yeah.
It requires like this right here.
Yeah.
I've been trying to cut it from these cameras here, and it's just a mess. So
It's hard. It's like,
It's ridiculous.
gotta get easy. It's you can be very lazy with that, and that's the move.
Yeah, a lot of the apps. Especially now, gearing towards the newer, younger crowd.
Mm-hmm.
They're all geared towards either iPads or the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an 11 Max Pro, and it's still pretty. It's still
Yeah, it
good.
holds up.
I mean,
They,
compared to
they
the
hold up
15.
a lot longer now than they used to.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'll go 2 or 3 generations before I do an
Same.
upgrade, just because it's like, what's the difference?
Yeah, yeah, same. Same.
From the 12 to the 13 or 13 to 14, there's really not a big enough difference for you to be like go spend $1,200-$1,300, you know?
Right.
Like, so, but yeah, I mean, I think the phone, because everybody has them, they're always on them. The apps are lifestyle type of apps, you know, and honestly, the candid stuff that you take, just, you know, sitting
Kinda the
around
best content,
Yeah, kind
yeah.
of bullshitting around. That's your best content, and you're not going to have a $3,000 camera just walking around with you, but you're going to have this phone
No.
in your pocket.
Somebody
So-
might.
No.
Somebody might. Yeah. So we should probably talk a little bit about hot rods. You don't just do the exotics and stuff. You do hot rod stuff. You did was it a GT 500 one the guy sold a while back? The white one with the blue stripes?
The one that I brought here.
Yes.
That was a GT350R.
GT350R,
Yeah,
sorry.
that was that's kind of the holy grail
Yeah.
of Shelby Mustangs. Yeah, that was
That's
a
the
race.
first video I showed him. And I was like, hey, this is why we need to get Jordan on this podcast, because
I was like, what in the hell?
That's some old
He's
stuff,
around
too.
that was
here.
one of the first ones you did for
yeah.
Winter Trailer, right?
Yeah, it was. That was when we were first getting started. But yeah, that's got race history. That was in Peru for a long time.
Oh, that's a real one.
That was
yeah, that's a
that
real
was a
one.
test bed for like Shelby himself.
You remember what that car sold for?
$1 million.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. I'll take 2.
Yeah.
Well, he lived right here.
Yeah, he's right down the road.
Like usually when bringing trailer calls is like, hey, we got a car in Arizona, or hey, we got a car in Houston, or wherever. And they're like, hey, we have a car in Kennedale, Texas, and I'm like, well, I'm in Kennedale, Texas.
I remember you texted me about it. You're like, hey, do you know there's a $1 million Mustang in Kennedale? And I'm like,
Jesus.
what? Then you sent me a little snapshot of the thing. I was like,
Yeah, and the owner's super cool, man. He's a Ford guy. He's a pilot for American Airlines. He worked himself into owning 3 Shelby Mustangs over the course of I don't know, a decade or something. And it just so happened that some guy got a hold of him and wanted a couple of his Mustangs and said, "Hey, I'll trade you this 350R
Oh, wow.
for your 3 Mustangs. What do you say?"
that's a good trade.
And he said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And he had it for several years, and then the market went boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm a millionaire now.
Does he have it still?
No, he sold it. He sold it.
Oh, he sold
Yeah.
it for $1 million.
Yeah, it was an incredible car.
It was a very cool car.
Even those new dark horses are pretty cool. The Mustang
Yeah.
dark horse.
Yeah, if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I mean, just to go back on kind of where I started, when I first got going, I just wanted to shoot whatever Lambo I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
And then the longer I did it, the more I started liking, a bigger variety of things, and the stuff that would tell stories, and the owners that would tell stories, and the cars with some character. And I think that's kind of what I'm really into now. Is
Go back to that one more right there. What's that red on the left? Oh, the Ferrari.
that's a 59 250 GT California.
Yeah, that is really nice.
That's a $20 million car.
I'll take 2.
There's a Mustang right
Yep.
there.
Yep.
There's one of y'all's right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That shoot right there, we actually broke down right there. And he called AAA to come get the car. I was like, I'll go get a tow strap or something and not leave you here. He's like, no, man, I'm good.
Yeah, there's Arcuda. There's Mr. Nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nasty.
That was a good set. It's a beautiful car. Beautiful car.
We've shot some cool stuff. It's been a while, though, since we've had you shoot anything.
It's been a while, yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
have a few that we'd like to do.
Oh, there's more than a few. Yeah, I mean, like
The-
even those Chevys right there, the box Chevys right there.
Mhm.
C10 or
Man, I
C8.
saw a thing this morning that said, when you say a 50-year-old truck, I see this, and it's like a 1940s Ford. And then they said, what I really mean is this, and it's like a 70s box
Yeah.
Chevy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man.
I mean, they're hot. I mean, they're
Yeah.
kind of hard to get it, in good shape too.
Everything's so damn expensive right now.
Mhm.
I mean, even the even the swept line Dodges that you couldn't give away or.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of my favorite, actually.
I remember this guy.
Like a 67 Dodge.
Yeah, the FJ was good. I mean, I got rid of that because the prices on those went insane. You know, I bought that for, it was a 14. I bought it in, I don't know, 16 for $30,000. It had 30,000 miles on it. And I put 120,000 more miles on it, sold it for 38.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
I mean, I put money into it, obviously, but, I mean, prices on everything just got wild.
Well, Toyota stuff is always the older stuff like that they're not making anymore. I mean, I don't know why they stopped making that. That was.
I don't either. It was a really good truck.
It looks good, too.
I think, you know, after I'd lifted it and everything, I mean, I just took a weekend and added like 2,000 pounds to the truck. You know, I did everything in one shot, which I regret doing. But after doing that, I commuted in it 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
And it just wore me out. You know, 10 miles to the gallon. Wouldn't stop. Wouldn't really go. Just.
That's the lifestyle.
I got tired of being in it.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have an easy drive when you were working for the car wrap place. That was a little bit of a
car
commute.
wrap place, yeah.
Where were you going?
It was about a 50-mile round trip up to Addison Airport, which is, you know, North Dallas.
That's where I live. Yeah. I come here every day. It's a 50-mile one way.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Keep telling them. Keeps bitching about traffic. I'm
Yeah, we
like,
were just talking about that last
move
night.
closer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when I had first started that company, the commute would take about an hour, which is, I feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then right before the lockdowns, it was an hour and a half to 2 hours each way,
Yeah.
which 4 hours a day doesn't really
it
do
takes-
much for you.
Takes time away from your hobby and your kids and
Yeah, it was not a good thing. And I mean, that ultimately led to my decision to go full time with the photo stuff.
So you are full-time now.
Mhm.
That's great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
which I think was a good decision, sir.
Yeah, me too.
I really do.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been interesting kind of navigating my way through all of that.
And you're married?
I am married.
What did your wife think about that?
She was supportive. She's supportive. I think she doesn't know exactly kind of.
That took a long time to get supportive out.
Yeah.
Remember earlier when you said I got to choose my words?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's been fine with it. She's been, you know, everything that she can be with it. It wasn't really like a, you know, oh crap kind of situation. Like, what are we going to do for money? I had already been doing this for 5 years before I made the decision to make the leap, and it was really just, you know, kind of stepping off a curb. So.
Yeah.
There was the YouTube show kind of started to take off at that point. So it was, you know, it was an easy decision. All of my vacation days were already used up by going off and doing photo shoots. So
Yeah. A horrible way to spend vacation.
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah,
So
and lunch breaks.
Yeah.
are you, are you self-taught or how did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I just wanted to, and actually, Joey and House of Hotrods was kind of integral to the growth of all of this because I just wanted to learn how to shoot cool photos of cars at night. Like I had no intention of doing anything other than like figuring out how to make a car look good with no lights on.
Yeah, that was kind of what blew my mind that night we did that photo shoot. You know, I'm like, hey, I'll help you because we don't want a lot of people around. The girls, you know, uneasy about people they don't know, so
Yeah.
we want everybody to feel safe. So I was like, hey, I'll be your assistant. I'll help you with stuff. So we get in the toy box, get the car set up. We're going to shoot one of the cars before the girls get there. He's like, all right, turn the lights off. And I'm like, what? He's like, turn the lights off. I'm like, all right, you buy me dinner first?
Yeah.
So I kill the lights and I see him turn this, you know, this light bar on, clicks the camera, and then he's painting this car with light. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And then the photos, which we'll put up on the screen,
Long
when he sent me
exposure. Yeah.
sent me the post edit, and like, because I always wondered, you see these badass pictures of cars, and I'm like, I know somebody took this damn thing with a camera, but how do they get the highlights and the and the lines and everything so right without having to merge, you know, 400 pictures together? And when you did that and sent me the picture, I'm like, holy crap.
It's cool.
Sometimes a lot of it is, you know, CGI or computer generated nowadays.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's go back because there's one on here. Let's see that. Like
Yeah, I mean,
like
that's
this Porsche right here.
I shot that in my driveway.
That's your driveway?
That's my driveway.
Here?
in Kennedale, Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way he
It looked like mountains.
paints the car with the light to make sure you get all the lines and the shadows and the highlights and everything, like it just, I don't know, it's insane to me. I've never seen anybody do that in person. I mean, I've seen a couple other photographers that do really good photos, but nothing like that. Like, to me, that's the poster that you know, you go to the Scholastic Book Fair as a
Right,
kid. I got
right.
$5. I'm buying a Goosebumps book. I'm buying
yeah.
a candy that I shouldn't have, a pixie stick.
Yeah,
And I'm buying a car
and a
poster
pixie
from my
stick.
room.
Yeah.
And that's the picture from the car poster. So it's like,
Yeah, I don't know if they do posters anymore, but definitely when I was a kid, you know, a Ferrari or a Lambo poster all day long.
Yeah, and I ran into a guy that had a collection of 80s and 90s cars in Dallas, and we did that with all the cars. It was like 6 or 7 cars, and each one looked like a poster. It was like a RT10 and a ZR1 and an F40 and like a Lancia. Like, it was just a bunch of iconic 80s cars, 90s cars, and we made them all look like posters. Kind of that similar kind of mountain in the backdrop type deal.
so I have a project, I haven't even told Clinton about this, that I want to do with you for next year.
Okay.
Turn the lights off.
So next year,
It'll make sense in a minute.
January, brother.
I know. We're already too late to do it this year. So, at our last car show, we did a coloring book for kids. So we sent the guy that does some of our side stuff pictures of the cars. He turned them into line drawings, and then we gave them away to the kids. Huge hit.
Yeah.
I mean, even Mark with his grandkids, my daughter, your
that's
kids
awesome.
would love them. And
Yeah.
I'll get you some before you go.
Okay.
So I was thinking, we have all these cars. That type of stuff's getting hot. Why not shoot a House of Hot Rods calendar for 2025?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Each month's a separate car. And it doesn't have to be just cars that we own as a company. It could be some of our high-end, builds that we do. And do a 2025 calendar. I mean, I know it's only a single image. When I say that, we can blend a few, but
Yeah.
I think when we're doing a car show series with Summit starting March. We're doing them quarterly. So it would be a great way to have some more merch out that,
Yeah.
I mean, because my thing with those calendars, as long as you don't gum up the image portion with any text, you tear it off.
Yeah.
You hang it in your shop.
Yeah.
So you have a garage full of cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's a poor man's poster, right?
Right. Right.
So that's what I want to do, and we'll talk offline about that. And any of our viewers that are going to watch this, if you guys want to see that, or if there's a car that that we've done, or you're a customer that has a car and you want to get it in there, contact Clinton, and let's get that going.
Yeah.
And that'll give us, this year to kind of,
I have a folder on my desktop named 2025 calendar. So
Okay.
I was ahead of you on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
I'm going to need you to pull it up on the screen and prove it. So.
Yeah.
He's over here. Right click and show me date created.
All right.
No, but I think something like that would be cool. Get you out here more. You're right down the street. We should see you more.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I agree, man.
Well, yeah, that's why. I mean, that's really why we wanted to come, have you come in. I was really excited when I saw your stuff. The video we haven't shown. This is all still this we've been looking at, but the videos are outrageously awesome. Pro. It's just pro, and I love it. It just gives the right feeling for the right car.
and Mark loves it. I mean, and he's never one that really liked having people take pictures of his cars. And then we did that photo shoot, and then he's like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, who's this guy? And it's a friend of mine named Jordan. And so he met you, and then he's like, all right, when's Jordan coming back? When's Jordan coming back? And I'm like, well, I mean, we got to schedule with him. We got to, make sure it's, good
Dude,
for both
I
sides.
remember the first time I think I met Mark. You had already set me up in the toy shop.
Yeah.
Toy box. So I was in there, lights off, just one dude just in there, looking real shady, walking around with flashlights in there. And the garage door opens, and I'm like in the middle of a shot. I'm like, well, shit, who is this? All right, let's get it over with. Mark pulls his truck in, and he goes, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Just a guy with a camera.
I'm just taking pictures.
Just
here
take him,
on
yeah.
podcast.
And he was fine with it after that, but that was the first meeting with Mark.
Yeah.
But that was kind of funny.
Yeah, and he's never really been hot on it. He's like, it's pictures. I see the cars every day. I'm like, yeah, but
Everybody
you don't
else
have
does it.
pictures like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have pictures like this that, you may get rid of the car, but you're always going to have this image.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if, the car has something on it from, the 90s or something, it's still timeless to you because that'll instantly bring you back. Like, man, I remember that car. I remember that truck. I remember that hot rod.
That actually might be kind of a fun project too. I mean, because you can make awesome looking cars look badass. Obviously, it would be really nice to see if you can make like an '87 Camry.
Oh, absolutely.
4-door.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
I'm about that life. Finding some, somebody.
Normal,
Yeah, but
like a Taurus.
to
Yeah.
somebody, that's the thing.
Could have
That's
been grandpa's car,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
brothers that passed away or something, and it's
Yeah.
the sentimental value thing, like you said earlier. It's about the story for you.
Oh man, yeah, a 94 SHO Taurus with a story is way more interesting than a 2022 Gallardo or whatever Hurricane or whatever Lambo they make
Yeah.
now. Like that's
Yeah.
dime a dozen.
Yeah, guys, like, oh, just pick this up, shoot me a picture of it. No, I want to hear the dude's story.
Yeah,
I want to hear
yeah.
why.
That's always the most
Why
fun.
do you still have this not so popular car? Like, what is it
Mm-hmm.
to you? And and you tell that story through pictures and video, which is awesome. It's hard to do, but it's funny. I know some of these people in these photos just through common friends and stuff, and it's just cool to see.
Yeah, I mean everything on the website has a story. Everything you see, just there's a story behind everything there. That I know that probably needs to be told at some point. That McLaren F1 right there. So I was filming. I don't know what season. We've done 10 seasons of Car Trek. I think it was season. I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 or something. They all kind of run together. But the premise of the whole season was our 3 hosts were driving their dream cars. We had a series of challenges, very Top Gear similar
Yeah.
format. And one of the hosts saw that there was going to be a McLaren F1 at Amelia Island in Florida, which we were starting the show out there anyway. So he pulled some strings, and I don't know how he did it, but the owner of the McLaren F1 was like, yeah, y'all need it, just take it. That was our reaction.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's what we said.
Okay.
So it was like hey, we may be able to get this car for 20 minutes, so everybody be on their game, like get all the cameras ready, like get all the crew ready, let's get the most out of this shoot. Dude, they let us have it for like 2 hours, 3 hours. We took our time with it. I did like a full photo shoot with it, like
Ferris Bueller's Day Off type of thing.
yeah, like we drove it, like the owner or the host of the show that drove the car had a Murcielago, and the owner of that car got in the Mercy and kind of chased them. And I remember I was on the radio, I was flying a drone over this bridge in Florida, and I was going to try and get this really epic shot. And I was like, all right, the guy's name is Ed. It's like, Ed, keep it to like 35 or 40 so I can get this like panning shot of you guys going over the bridge. No.
135 or
Yeah.
140?
Yeah. I was like, that's way too fast, brother.
I mean, you surprised?
No. He did
Hey,
what
I know
all of us
you're
would have
in
done.
your dream supercar.
Yeah.
I need you to slow down to
Yeah.
130 or to 30.
No, we all lived
sir.
vicariously through whoever was driving the car, and like it was pretty spectacular. That's kind of that's been the kind of hero car for me. I've always wanted to shoot and be with and like hang out with a McLaren F1, and that was that's it, man. Mm-hmm. That was sick. That was awesome. And there's been a few like that have been. That Ferrari, that 250 GT was also. That's the real Ferris Bueller's car.
Yeah.
And we drove it to an airport. Like we rode it into an airport, me and the owner, and it was just like, what am I doing? What is this? I think one just sold at Bear Jackson for $18 million or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah. You just step into a different lifestyle, I guess.
Dude, yeah, bids coming in at $200,000-$300,000 per, and it's just like, my
You're
gosh.
just sitting in there with your camera, just waiting to shoot pictures.
yeah.
Well, that's a cool story. It's a cool life.
Yeah, I love it.
It's incredible to follow. If you guys aren't following him, Trust in the Machine is his website. Trust in the Jordans, his personal page, if you want to.
Kind of like a BTS. If you like seeing my kids and stuff, which you may not, but there's some behind the scenes kind of photo shoot stuff there and stuff that's upcoming. And
Behind the scenes, I saw BTS. I thought it was that Korean boy band.
No.
Okay, so that's strike two. So you brought up the dark horse, and now you've brought up Korean boy bands. So
Yeah, there's a.
Yeah, why isn't there a camera flipped around on you, sir?
That's
we
why.
can make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have an extra one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Thanks for coming on. I know we're going to try to keep these around 30 minutes. We're already sitting at an hour. So, but hey, it's what
Hey,
happens when you
part one,
get to
part two,
talking.
maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
we'll definitely have you back on.
That'd be awesome. Anytime.
I think what we want to do for the next one, we're going to start doing one of these focused around a certain car.
Okay.
I think we're going to start with one of mine just because it's easily accessible. But we're going to talk about the car in here, details of it, story behind it, about the restoration process or whatever. And then while we're talking, we're going to kind of film towards or pan towards some of the videos and pictures and
Okay.
stills of the car. So we may get with you on helping us
Sure.
do some of that too.
Sure.
So I don't know if we're going to, you want to do the Buick first?
Either that or the Ram Charger.
Yeah. I bought a 89 Ram Charger with a 12 valve Cummins swap.
Oh, nice.
A built 12 valve Cummins swap
Nice.
in it. And I mean, it's not a not a popular car, but you know, my story behind it was my grandfather had one growing up.
Well, there's the story right there.
And I was like, you know, he passed away a year or two ago, and I was like, man, I really like to have one of those.
What do you mean it's not a popular? I love them.
I know, but they're not a K5 Blazer. They're not a.
It's not the
they're
popular
not a
choice.
Bronco,
That's
Yeah.
why.
You know,
That's why I like it. That's why I really like it.
But you know,
But you
I-
never see them.
I've been looking for about 2 years for one with a 12 valve because I didn't want to do that swap. Like I just, you know, I'd rather buy it that way because I don't want to spend the money, the insane money it takes to do that swap. And he passed away last year, and I was driving to work. I don't know, November, December, and I have an alert set up on my phone on every damn website that you possibly can, and the eBay thing popped up. Ding. Says new Ram Charger just posted on eBay, Cummins swapped, and I'm like, I'm texting and driving like I shouldn't be. Look at it, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy this one. So I text my wife. I said, "Hey, I'm about to buy another car. She's like, where are you gonna park this one?" And I'm like, "Well, we have a big driveway."
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Swap
So
it
that
around.
was my story behind that one. But it's a cool little truck. I mean, it's not the level of our my Buick or the other hot rods that we have here, but
It
it's
means a lot.
super sentimental
It means
to
a lot.
me. It means a
Yeah.
lot to me. So
Looks really good too.
you know, I just put new wheels on it yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll do another one. May have you come out and do videos and photos
Yeah.
of it. I'd like to have photos of
Sure.
just those two cars, just for my own personal stuff. So
Yeah, man.
the kids love it, or my only kid loves it. My
Yeah.
wife, it's love and hate.
Love, hate.
She has to sit in the back seat because the car seat goes in the front.
Oh, really?
So my daughter's, oh, mommy's coming. Mommy sits in the back.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's big.
That's awesome.
So, but
All right.
cool.
Sweet. So I think this is where we end this segment, and then, like I said, we'll definitely have you back.
Cool. Yeah, I'm more than happy to come by anytime.
Awesome.
It's fun.
You guys say bye to the cameras now.
Bye, camera.
See ya.